Okay, welcome back. It's Lori with Giggle Girl Arts, and if you haven't been here, welcome for the first time. Today I want to share my process of getting started on making an altered book, and I'm going to be using this fabulous digital kit by Cara Brandon at Cara Brandon Creations. I'll have links to my flip through and her flip through where you can find all of that fun information. So the first thing I like to do with an altered book is determine whether it has signatures or not. And actually I started this one. I didn't think it had signatures. I started ripping out the pages, had a little bit of problems. You'll see that coming up. But if you're not familiar with how signatures work, let me get you to the bottom here. When you spread out the binding, you can see little groups of the papers here. So if you can see what I mean, like there's a group, and there's a group. So like I said, with the first one, I didn't realize that the signatures were sewn in, and the signatures will either be sewn in or glued in. It depends on the manufacturer and a lot of times the age of the book. This one was printed in 1946. So then the next thing I did is I went through and I found the center of each of these signatures, and most of them had 8 double pages. So for instance, here is the centerpiece. You can see the stitching right here, here, and here. Some of them are a little more visible than the others. And then, so here's the 2 center pages, so that's 1 pair, and here's the next one, 2 pairs, 3 pairs. And the way that in bookmaking, when you take a single piece of paper and you fold it in half, it becomes a folio. So essentially it has 8 folios. So let me show you with this. So here's a piece of paper. Fold it in half and it becomes a folio. Then fold this one in half, it becomes a folio. Then after you get 8 folded folios, you put them together. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you've got your 8 folios, and you have them folded in half. And then what you'll do is you'll sew down the middle, and that'll make a signature. And then there's different techniques of hooking the signatures together, and I'm not going to go into that, but I will have some links down below where people explain it a lot more, because we're not making books, we're going to be altering it. But some of that information is important to have when you're altering books. So the first thing, like I said, I didn't realize the signatures were sewn in. I didn't, pay really good attention. And instead of right away taking the rest of the signatures apart, I am going to go ahead and decorate this page and this page. But before, let me show you my mistake. And here it is. All right, so here I am just sharing the inside cover, the outside cover, and what the book looks like in general. And as I open it, I show the inside cover and how the first page is often attached to the inside cover of the book. Then I am pointing out that there are already pages missing, one or more. And then I decide to start tearing out the pages. And that is where I made my mistake. I did not realize that the signatures were sewn in. I didn't look at it carefully enough. And I thought they were glued in. So always double check that your signatures are either glued in or sewn in, because it makes a really big difference when you are taking out the pages. At this point, I decided I've taken out enough pages, and I want to take the first page and the next page after I ripped out, and I'm going to somehow glue those together. Either just completely glue them together or make a pocket of some sort. Next, I start taking out more pages, and I am struggling with this one. And I'm starting to figure out that the signatures may actually be sewn in. But I'm not completely convinced, so I try to use a ruler to help me rip the pages out. And I'm still struggling. Now I'm really starting to figure out something is just not working right, and my temporary solution didn't work, so I give myself the editing time to cut off. The next thing I do is I get ready to use my matte medium to glue or adhere the pages together, and I'm showing you the type that I'm using, which is by Daler Rowney. And I have a brilliant idea that I heard somewhere, that because these old books pages are real thirsty, to give them water, and I end up regretting that later. So that'd be another big mistake that I would suggest not using, or maybe I just got it too wet and you shouldn't get it that wet. I don't know, but either way, it just seemed to make the paper a lot more fragile, and I didn't really like the way that it was going, so I decided to dry it with my tiny desk fan. So finally, I'm comfortable with the amount of dryness, mostly. I go ahead and blot it off, and now I'm getting ready to start putting the matte medium onto the page. And I apply a little bit, and then I think, oh, that's not such a great idea. So I pull out the parchment paper, and that makes it, so it protects the pages behind the one that I'm working on. And then after I do the first page with the medium, the one across from it, I apply the medium to it as well. And then I work on putting them together. First, I put them together and adjust it so that they're flat, or as flat as I can get them. I smush it down, I open it back up, and then I grab my paint tool and burnish it. I have a little problem on the bottom of the page. I get my parchment paper back out and close the book. Okay, so now as you can see, this page it's relatively flat, but it's not as flat as I wanted it to be. And I decided I'm not going to wet the pages anymore. I'm just afraid that it's going to end up causing more problems than helping. But I am going to go through to the center of the signatures and pull out a couple of the folios for each one. And I'll probably do some time lapse and I'll be back in just a minute. So as I was going through, I remembered some of the signatures only had 6 folios, while most of them only had 8. Most of them had 8. And so some of them I just took one out of the center. And the next thing I want to do is start planning where I want to put pockets and full-size pages. So let me get ready for that, and I'll be back in just a moment. All right, I added an extra light because I was reviewing and it looked a little dark. So the lighting's changed. I've got 2 natural lights here, and the other light over there is a regular light bulb. So sorry if the color looks weird, but so what I figured out is I am going to, for this first page, I'm going to put this half because I want the bird in front, and then this other half is going to go in the very back. And it works out, I've got enough of these side-by-side pages to go in each section. So that was lucky. So this one will go here, this way. And this one can go here. And this one can go here. And then this one, I'm probably going to switch up the green and the orange. Possibly. I'm not really, I haven't, because I think I've mixed up the colors from the way the kit goes. Because this has all the colors and yellow, and then there's yellow and pink here, and then it moves into kind of orangey red colors. So, and then I've got these last pink ones. So that's kind of the general plan, and I'm going to work on that, and then I wanted to show you. So let me just close this up for now. What I've been using is this gloss medium. So that is what I'm going to use to adhere my pages together. And then I've just got these Dollar Tree paintbrush and trash. And yeah, that's what is the plan. All right, so I think I'll work on that the next time. So make sure you come back and make sure to leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of this and other arts and crafts. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.